this goes back to that story I told you about the girl that I hooked up with completely by accident. It's a hilarious story because I go to my hairdresser that my first girlfriend recommended to me. It's one of those cases like, oh my god, I got this new hairdresser, come with me. I go there once, she goes there once, we break up, she never goes there again. I kept going because I got a good deal. She gave me the
good guy, good deal.
Yeah, she gave me the retired people discount, old people discount. You know, it was really cheap. It was a cheap haircut. So I kept going there, and one time we were talking about bikes and like, oh yeah, there's the cycling race, blah blah blah. There's a girl that comes here, she gets her haircut, and I'm like, okay, that's a. Can you give me the name? And she gives me a name, but she doesn't give me a surname. You know. So I go to the race, official results, and there's two races. There's a short race and there's a long race. Obviously, me being, you know, short-minded, I thought the girl surely did the short race. So I added her, and I added the wrong chick. So there I go into DMs. I'm like, hey, you also get a haircut at this and this place. And she's just like, who the fuck are you and what kind of a fucking pickup line is that? Legit, that was her first response.
It's one of the craziest ones though.
Her response was like, who the fuck are you and what the fuck is this pickup line? And then, you know, I tried to play it off and I was like, yeah, congratulations on winning, blah blah blah, like, would you like to go on a bike ride with me? Because I figured a bike ride is
She never rode a bike probably.
No, she
does.
Yeah, she did. She won it. But she won a different race that I was looking at.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, let's go for a bike ride, and we meet up, and then the next day, a couple of days, I take her to a pizza, blah blah blah, and I was being really pushy. I kept saying like, she's inviting me over because she had like a flat, and she was like, you know, which is kind of cute. And I was like, yeah, you know, I work in a kitchen, I'll bring a bunch of food, like blah blah blah, just invite me. And she's being really stubborn for like 2 weeks, and then eventually, she's like, fuck it, come over. So I'm like, yeah, I know I'm gonna smash. Great. It turns out it was actually the best friends with benefits I had ever. Lasted for like, I want to say solid 6 months throughout winter. It was beautiful. It was like, you know, once a week, hey, what are you doing? Right, I'll come over. Netflix and chill, essentially.
That's easy.
You know, and she was paying for everything, which made it even weirder for me because she was a couple of years older. You know, she was,
couple of years.
Yeah.
That's rare.
What's about?
I had that with the girl that's been like 2 years older than me.
She was like
French girl.
3 to 5 years older, actually, yeah. But she was starting to get into those ages where she was like starting to think about a family, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not gonna get that from good old Yobbo over here, you know, because I wasn't interested in.
Too young.
Yeah.
You were too young.
No, but she also like she wasn't my type in terms of relationship. She did some weird stuff where she would. I think one time she woke me up at like 6 a.m, slamming a pillow in my face. And it was, to her maybe it was innocent, but to me it was just like, what the fuck is wrong with you, you know? Like, let me sleep in peace.
Better get in the kitchen, make me a coffee, bitch!
I was so pissed, you know? And then, luckily at the time, I had a friend who was also doing the same sports as her, and he had the same, like, if there was a male version of her, it was that guy. And I just felt this weird connection, and then as we were talking, I started like mentioning the guy a little bit more. I just mentioned him a couple of times, and she got interested. And I hooked them up, one with another.
You were out.
I was out.
Yeah.
I had a good time, great time. She was saying a little bit. She's like, oh, you're probably seeing other women, blah, 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 I don't want that. This is the last time we're hooking up. I'm like,
I'm fine with it.
Fine with it. Took it on the chin. And, yeah, no, 2.5 years later, they have a kid. And
you told me about her getting pregnant, but not the whole story around it.
Yeah, and you know, I'm completely fine with it. In fact, I'm happy for them. Like, I'm really happy for them. But it's weird thinking that could have been me, in a way. And again, you can look at that as like, holy shit, that could have been me. And you could also look at it from like, oh, that could have been me. You know, it's like it's such a perspective.
I'm a little bit
trait.
scared about this whole situation. Like, so many people that I know, they somehow decided to marry each other in the past 2 years, you know? And I'm like, where are you taking this from?
But I mean, it is. There's a drill in people. Like, in a way, you want it. But I don't know how other guys think. For me, in my head, the way I was brought up, I had this conception that a marriage means it's like a checkpoint, you know? It's like, oh, if I get married to this woman, then she is obligated by law, some weird way, to just stick around with me for forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's how that motherfucker works.
Not nowadays anymore.
Not nowadays anymore.
No.